Alright, so been doing a bunch of playing around this morning. I've got it basically clamped into place. Still trying to figure out my centering of my wheels in here. Gonna take everything back out because I actually realized that the front tires are different sizes and just kind of want to deal with tires that are the same size, so I got nothing weird that's gonna throw me off. So gonna take the axle out one more time, grab that wheel, because actually it has matching wheels, but they're staggered. The left rear needs to be swapped with the right front, so that type of thing. Centered up the plate this morning, gonna take it back out now, and we're gonna clean up the line in the back where I torched, make sure it's nice and even. That way we have some room to work with and play with. It's pretty close where we're at right now, but I want to get the wheels swapped out and get that cleaned up, and then we'll move farther along with getting that mounted. So, and then we can move on to the back. So, see what happens with it, but axle's coming out, and I'll check in a little bit. Alright, got the plate back on. Got our ends notched out. Didn't need to do much. I just really wanted a clean edge that matched an even number from front to back here. And we now got matching size tires on each side of this, so money. Time to roll this back under there. Gonna start doing a bunch more measuring and figuring things out, so catch back up in a little bit, but it's kind of hard to film right now because it's just a lot of me sitting here thinking, so I will catch back up when I've got some stuff figured out. Alright, well, a bunch of tedious messing around later. I think I got this thing where I want it. At least very close. We're going to start working with it. Of course, on camera now it looks like an optical illusion that it's farther back. Oh, that's funny how that works. Kind of see the lines that we're working with and holding stuff up to. It's really funny that it looks out of proportion now in camera. Maybe not there. I don't know. Been taking a bunch of measurements, running around. It's kind of hard to find the same things to try and center stuff and work off of. But, I don't know. Might also look weird because there's no front bumper to come back over to here. So maybe that is throwing it off because the bumper would wrap around to about there, where my hand is. That kind of, yeah, I don't know. Trying to figure it out, tack some stuff together here and go from there. It's a lot of learning at the moment, a lot of measuring, lots of figuring out, lots of thinking. So, gonna probably do a lot more measuring and thinking and whatnot before we commit to welding it. But before we do, I gotta clean up these brackets, take off some of the weld on the side so we can get a good penetration on it, and yeah, go from there. So I'll be back once I'm ready to tack things together, but of course, now that I look at it through the camera, it makes me want to remeasure a bunch of things and rethink it. So be back in a bit. Uprights are tacked back into place now. Front end is getting close. I'm going to start working on the rear now. Got to take our leaf shackles back here, our mounting brackets for our leaf shackles, and we're going to cut the tops off of them and relocate this farther up in the frame. As I'm looking at it like this, I don't know if this is ideal. I really don't know how to set up a leaf spring suspension, but we're going to set up our leaves here with basically that plate being level with the top of our frame. So we might have to put a small leaf block in the rear to compensate it, but this is still going to sag down a little bit, so yeah, gonna see what happens. We're gonna start moving along on that. This will get pushed down a little bit. It still is sitting a little bit high. But the center of the bolt hole right now, from looking at it yesterday, is about level with my frame. So, gonna get those there lopped off at the top, and we're gonna relocate them up. And like I said, see what happens there. All we can do is try. Worst comes to worst, it doesn't work out. Sorry if that was loud. But yeah, keep messing around with that. Start doing some more cutting. Get these ones tacked into place, and then we can throw the weight back on it. And just overall, see how we did. I don't know why I keep dropping that. But yeah, gonna get to it. Alright, well, ran into another little roadblock and thing to think about. Kind of suspected this, but I was hoping I could get away with it. So, you can see with our bracket mocked up in there, we are still quite a ways above that. And if we lower it down, we're basically right back to where we started. So, yeah, not overly what I wanted. I'm either now going to end up modifying these leaf shackles, or first off, I'm going to look into ordering some 4-inch leaf shackles to lower that down, because it only needs to come down 2 inches. So, gonna look into how much leaf shackles are and get some measurements, see what all I got to figure out for new leaf shackles if I want to go that route, or if we want to just cut it and take 2 inches out of it, which ideally we don't do, because if these break or anything happens in the future, then I can just order another part rather than having to do some custom nonsense here. So, yeah, gonna take a little break on that, but luckily there's still plenty of other things to work on. So, see what we want to start on next after I figure out what I'm doing with this. So, hopefully we'll be back soon.
2 hours later.
All right, me and Diesel are back out here after taking a couple-hour break. Ended up going to O'Reilly's and found ourselves some more leaf shackles to give a shot. These are a 4.5-inch shackle for the rear of an early 2000s Chevy 1500, and they match all the measurements we need to have a shorter shackle on the front of here. So we're gonna go ahead and see what happens with them, get them bolted into place, and hopefully that gives us the height we need to get our brackets back in here. So, gonna start playing with that, see what we can figure out, go from there as usual. So, hopefully these are gonna work out. That's all I can hope for. These were pretty cheap, so see what happens. Alright, got everything tacked up into place under there finally. It's a hot one under there, but I'm gonna jack her up the rest of the way here and set her down on her own weight. See how she looks, see how we did. Overall, just see what happens. So let's just do it. jack stand. And 2 jack stands. All right, well. Welds are either going to break and she's going to fall on the ground, or they're going to hold, and we're going to get our result of how we did. Time will tell in a couple seconds. 3, 2, 1. Hold the weight. Oh, she's coming down a lot. Alright. Jack stand is free. Oh wow, that height came out really good. Wow. Let's see how this looks. Okay. That actually might have come out really good. Holy crap. Shackles look good. Bouncy, bouncy. Well, seems to be doing what it has to do. Huh, cool. All right, well, yeah, I really don't know what to say. I didn't fully expect to get this far today. Man, the level of this thing actually looks really good. That's like the exact right height I was looking for. Very cool. Well, still gonna wait a little bit before I commit to welding those up. I wanna still do a bunch of measuring and figuring out of things, so just to double check everything, and hopefully we just get to leave it here and weld her up. But I'm very happy with this. Heck yeah. Still looks out of proportion in the camera. I don't know why. Either way, sitting pretty good here. Shackles are doing their thing. I don't really know what to say here, like I said. Just happy to be this far with it. Yeah, those are sitting really good, actually. Not too shabby for somebody who's just winging it. All these heights look good. Good clearance along there. It might be a little tight to the cross member right here, but I don't know. We're going to keep figuring it out. Worst comes to worst is more modifications have to happen, right? I mean, yeah. So, all right. Well, it's hotter than heck out here, and I feel like calling it a night. So, good work for today. We'll be back tomorrow.
The next day.
Jumping back onto the Blazer here today. Got the front end all situated in our last video. It's still all just tacked together. Still making decisions on if this is final placement. I've got a friend who's going to bring me a set of 35-inch tires on rims that I can mock up on here earlier or later this week. So want to do that before I commit to welding them, just to visualize proportions of where it's sitting and just overall be able to think about it. So gonna wait till we get those. So I think today I'm going to start pulling the carpet out of here just to make my life easier, so I don't gotta worry about burning it, because this interior is in really nice shape. And we're gonna start doing cage work. So going to be making plates to finalize the cage into the floor, because they were originally going to tie them into the rock slider idea they had with the 2x6 steel plate. They were going to tie everything into there, but I don't need that. I will be 100% honest when I say the cage is really a looks thing for me in this. That I don't really plan on this being overly useful, but in the event that it does become useful, it's still going to be structural. So we're going to make plates that tie the cage into the bottom of the floor rather than through the floor into the rock sliders that they were doing. So going to go about doing that. So I want to tear the carpet out of it and any of the last little other odds and ends that might be in our way. So And then we can start welding this cage together and getting that fully set. That way interior can just go back together. So yeah, gonna start cracking along on that and see where it gets us. Well, getting the inside cleaned out, Diesel's been helping me out here. Got her just about ready to have the carpet pulled out, and I don't know how I didn't notice this the first time. Detroit locker, 14 bolt. Bam. I don't know how I didn't notice this in here. Or even remember the guy telling me about it. I don't even remember the guy telling me about it. But we got a Detroit locker for the rear. That's really sick. I don't know how I didn't know I had that. I mean, I only understand so much of this build. This is kind of one of those things that I seen it and went, oh my god, I have a build plan for it, and really didn't do my research or reading of his description. I just basically said I wanted it, and we somehow worked out a deal. So, and it's now mine. But to get on with it, that is very cool. Very happy to have that. I think Diesel will be too. It's less chance of us getting stuck now. Yeah. So, very cool. Gonna keep continuing on, just cleaning stuff out here, and soon we'll be ripping the carpet out.
3 days later.
Hey, well, I've ended up with a lot going on the last few days. The last thing I even did on this was start pulling the interior out, or what's left of the interior out, basically the carpet. The only thing we got done was pulling the actual rear carpet out. I started pulling the seat out, and then had a friend stop over and got distracted that night, and same thing with the rest of last week. Just kind of spent a lot of time hanging out with people and doing that instead of working on stuff. So yeah, this morning I went and picked up the bigger rims and tires from my buddy so that we can test fit them on here and start kind of eyeballing that more and decide if this is 100% where the axle is staying. So I'm going to mess around here for a little bit, get these little rollers pulled off of here and get those swapped on. Those are a 33-inch tire. We thought they were going to be a 35, but coming home and measuring them, they're actually a 33. So should hopefully still give me what I'm looking for. So let's get them on here and see how it looks. Well, bigger tires are on, and surprisingly 33s don't look bad on here. 35s will definitely be a really nice size on here, but I think everything looks pretty good. I got it turned right now. I just was playing with the angles of everything, but I'm pretty happy with that. Once we got some 35s or some bigger meats, we'll definitely have to trim out a little more of that inner fender where they started to, but it sits in here really nicely. Put her back straight. Oh, everything slides nice on the concrete to turn, at least. Yeah, that should be close to straight. So yeah, looks a lot more proportional with a bigger tire in there. Lot better, Diesel dog. So definitely 35s will definitely fill her out nicely. I jacked up the rear of it just to kind of level it out and get an idea of how high this thing is going to sit. That's pretty nice. I will say I'm very happy with that. So see what happens. Maybe I'll get to welding all that out tonight. Maybe I'll get to pulling out the interior. Not really sure what I want to work on. Kind of feeling a little lazy today, so might just pick this back up tomorrow. We'll see. So
10 seconds later.
well, I can only stand around for so long. I was going to wash my car, but Brandon decided to take over. He's out there washing it for me. He's over there. You see him? Yeah. He's getting her all nice and clean. Playing with the pine sap, but so I decided I might as well get some more work done. Get the rest of the seat pulled out of here in the front section of the carpet. Then I can start planning on making some plates on the floor here to mount the cage into. So gonna jump right into it, start tearing the rest of this out, and start getting a game plan going. got everything all ripped out of here. So it is now time to start playing with our cage here. Luckily they got really tight holes on it, but I'm going to be making plates to go. I think I'm going to cut them off flush with the floor and then put a plate under it and just tie the cage into the body rather than going through the floor how they had it going, because they were going to tie it into the rock sliders that they were going to weld onto the bottom, which was that 2x6 piece of 1/4-inch steel. So we're not going that route. I'm putting factory rocker panels back into it, and I don't know if they're doing that for like code or legal reasons, because they were building this as a Moab truck to go crawl out there. So I don't know if that's something that was mandatory or it was just the cage that was mandatory, but in my application here, this cage is mainly for, well, to be honest, looks, because I think it looks cool, and that's one of the main things that drew me into it. So what I'm going to be doing is just plating the floor and doing it like I did in my drift car. So minus that's a unibody car, so therefore it is tying that into the whole chassis, compared to where this isn't tied into the frame. I don't know if they were going to tie it into the frame too, or I don't know what they were doing. So I'm not going to really worry about that too much, because like I said, this is for looks, and in the event of an accident, I'm sure it's probably still going to help a lot. Not crushing the cab and stuff. So yeah, looking pretty good. Did find some rust in this back corner over here. Goes up there a little bit, but not bad at all. We'll wire wheel it and patch what we need to patch, or just throw some rust cure over it and send it. Not sure yet. See what happens. I'm sure my OCD will make me redo it though. So yeah, good stuff. Start playing around with it more. Not sure if I'm going to continue on this more yet, or get in there, wires. There we go. Not sure if I'm going to continue on the inside more, if I'm going to finish welding out this front axle. I would say it's worth sending it where it's at. So going to get that taken care of possibly. Not sure. Either way, we got a lot of work to do. Got a lot of work to do on the drift car coming up, so I might also jump into that, but you will see. So Blazers are making good progress so far.